All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
You sigh, the song begins. You speak, and I hear violins. It's magic. The stars desert the skies and rush to nestle in your eyes. It's magic without a golden wand or mystic charms. Fantastic things begin when you are in my arms.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I'm Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in Crystal Beach, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And to find out where you can watch, or how you can watch, I should say, the X-Zone TV channel, visit www.simultv.com. X-Zone Nation, my guest this hour is the gentleman who is singing in the intro that we played. It's the name of the song is It's Magic, and it was being sung by Tannus Nassif. And Gary is joining me this hour, and first of all, Gary, welcome to the X Zone.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Gary, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see, I don't know where to start. I was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I left there for Hollywood and my dreams. Mm-hmm. And my dreams did not come true because I had a very serious stuttering problem, and that held me back. But my will was greater than my adversity. So I pursued, and I took a lot of punches, but I finally made it as a singer in Hollywood years and years later. Mm-hmm. And I was discovered by the great Viola, who played guitar for Frank Sinatra, for over 25 years. And he believed in me so much. He said, Gary, he said, I believe that you will be a major star someday. I want to be with you when it happens. And we did 11 concerts together in L.A., and he was magnificent. And he played for Doris Day in the movies. Mm-hmm. And then a few years later, I was singing on television in Las Vegas, and I was heard by Vincent Falcone, and he was Sinatra's pianist conductor for over 10 years around the world. And he said, Gary, you and I have got to work together. So I worked with Vinny for 8 years, and he was magnificent. He never gave me a direction. He never criticized me, nothing. And one day, I called him up and I said, Vinny, I said, I need a pianist to do my small gigs with, and I'll use you for my big production numbers. And he said, you don't need another pianist. And I said, well, I don't want to overuse you. Mm-hmm. He said, listen to me. He said, no one's going to play for you but me. That was Sinatra's big pianist and conductor. And I can't thank him enough. I cannot thank him enough. So where do you want me to go from here, Rob?
Well, let's get to the point of who you met that was really influential in your life.
Oh, a lot of people. In fact, I'm writing a show for Las Vegas, and it's going to be an evening with Gary Nassif and his movie star friends, and there are many, and they all contributed to me believing in myself, learning more about my talents, and just praising me for my work. And so I'm going to do it here. I've got a producer who's very excited about the show, and I'm almost finished writing it. And so that's on the agenda. But I have another agenda that's fabulous. I was with Danny Thomas for a few years, well, no more than a few years, and he believed in me in my sculpture work, and he asked me to create the now famous Bronze of Hope for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And I did that, and Danny said, we're going to dedicate it at the hospital. Meet me in Memphis. So I flew to Memphis with my mom, and the doctors came, nurses came, the administration, the children in wheelchairs came with their parents, and it was quite a dedication. And Danny unveiled my Bronze of Hope, which is 3 children from 3 different races, and they are thanking God for being healed. So we did that, and Danny gave me my legacy at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital because of the now famous Bronze of Hope.
So, what is your legacy with the hospital and the Danny and the great work that Danny Thomas started?
Well, I'll tell you. Danny and I had donuts and coffee at CBS one night. We were doing a radiothon, and Marlo was there, and so Danny said, Gary, let's go have a cup of coffee and a donut. I want to talk to you. So I said, okay. And I was scared to death that I would stutter, but I didn't. And he said, listen to me. He said, most people think that I am a big man because of my entertainment. He said, but that's not true. He said, St. Jude is what made a big man out of me, and that is the truth. And Gary, I just want to encourage you to help the hospital, because the hospital needs you, your talents. And so Danny encouraged me to step up, but Danny has always been my mentor as an entertainer, because I consider him a world-class entertainer, and one of 3 greatest entertainers who ever lived, and that's Danny Thomas, Al Jolson, and Judy Garland, in my estimation. So I followed him. I became a singer. I became a stage performer because of Danny and Doris Day. And Doris became a very dear friend of mine, and she encouraged me. She loved my book. She loved my CD, and I miss her a lot. But I'll tell you, Rob, I have spent 2 years writing my St. Jude Dream Concert, which will be produced next year. And my co-star I've selected is Miss Rosalind Kind. And Rosalind is a dear, dear friend of mine, a lovely girl, but she's a concert artist, and she performs all over the world, and sometimes with her sister, Barbara Streisand. And so Rosalind will be sharing the stage with me, and my show is all about Danny and the hospital, and it's in memory of him. And Rosam's she's excited about it. I'm excited, and it's going to be glorious. So I invite the world, and of course you and your dear wife, to be with me.
Oh, we thank you for that, Gary. You're a hard worker. You're a dedicated worker, and you've crawled on your hands and knees going up that slippery slope to success, but you made it.
Well, I'm not. Like Al Jolson used to say, "You ain't seen nothing yet." Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say something about Rob. Now, Rob, don't interrupt me. I know you don't like compliments.
All right, hold on here. I've got to interrupt you because I have to take this commercial break. We'll continue what you were going to say on the other side.
All
Okay,
right.
Gary? Stand by.
Yep.
Exonation, Gary Tannus Nassif is our special guest, and the website is www.garytannusnassif.com. And Gary and I will return on the other side of this break as the X Zone continues right here from our broadcast center and studios in Crystal Beach, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
You sigh, the song begins. You speak, and I hear violins. It's magic. The stars desert the skies and rush to nestle in your eyes. It's magic without a golden wand. Or embrace me, my sweet, embraceable you. Embrace me, you, irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, my heart grew tipsy in me. You and you alone.
Welcome back, everyone. Gary Tannus Nassif is our special guest, and his website is garytannusnassif.com. What was your inspiration for coming together and doing your Bronze of Hope for the hospital?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I had never created a child in art.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an art teacher, and I'm an artist, but I've never created 3 different children from 3 different races. And I prayed about it. To make a long story short, it took me a lot of prayers before I got the guidance of the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit guided me into creating this marvelous miracle sculpture of 3 children. And Danny, when he unveiled it, he told the administrator of the hospital, he said, I want Gary's sculpture to be the only sculpture in my personal heritage building, which is absolutely glorious. And I'm so honored. And he gave me my legacy at St. Jude. And that's, so I've got to follow up and do the things that will help the children. And my concert coming up is going to be astronomical. I invite the world. It's that great because I asked the Holy Spirit to guide me to writing what He wanted me to write. And so I sent it to my to my executive producer, and she is thrilled, just thrilled. And so, wonderful things are going to happen. I know that. And I am not a famous person, but I truly believe that the Lord will send me the people to attend my dream concert for the hospital.
Now, what was it like the first time you met Danny Thomas? Like, he was a big celebrity.
Oh, yes. Well, the first time I met him, he had heard that I created the now famous Christ statue for a Catholic hospital in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought it to Los Angeles, and he found out I was there with the sculpture. He said, Gary, he called me up, and he said, Gary, St. Jude is having a $1 million dinner at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, and I invite you to exhibit your Christ as a message of inspiration for the evening. I said, wow, you're kidding. I can't believe this. But, you know, when you believe in the Lord, and you let him lead you, he will lead you to the highest places that he wants you to go, but only in his time. And so they had the Christ set up in a very prime area. There were movie stars, there were celebrities, there were bishops, there were so many wonderful people there, and they roped the Christ off in red velvet ropes. And one of the people that came in to see the Christ, besides Danny and Mrs. Danny, I loved Mrs. Danny Thomas, Rosemarie. She was a dream and a wonderful friend of mine. But anyway, Danny came in. He took pictures with me, and my sister was there, and he loved her. And Rosemarie came in and took pictures with me and the Christ. But one of my favorite movie stars and stage stars came in just to see the Christ, and it was Miss Martha Ray.
Wow.
I loved Martha from the second I met her, and while I was talking to her and telling her how wonderful she is, she kissed me in mid-sentence. And I said, I can't believe you're such a big... Do you know that she made movies where her name was above Bob Hope?
I can well imagine that.
Yeah. And she was the sweetest woman. And Martha told me that she was also a nurse, and she was a member of the armed services, and she did a lot of shows overseas, a lot. And I loved her so much. Anyway, that's all about Martha.
Doris Day,
But,
another big name. What was Doris Day like when she wasn't in front of the camera?
Okay. All right. Okay. I had a girlfriend who was in Pillow Talk with Doris Day, and she looked a lot like Doris. And she played the part of Tony Randall's secretary. She's blonde. She looks a lot like Doris.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her name was Lois, and I said, Lois, tell me about Doris Day, please. She's my favorite. I love her. And she said, Gary, she said, Doris Day was the sweetest person on the universal lot. She was so sweet and so kind to me. And Lois, she admired a coat that Doris wore in Pillow Talk. And at the end of shooting, Doris gave Lois the coat.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but when my book was finished, I sent Doris a copy of it, and she wrote back, and she said, Gary, I love your book. I love the pictures, but I want to thank you so very much for all the nice things you said about me in your book. And that made me so happy, Rob, that she appreciated. But Doris has written me, maybe 6 or 7 letters, and they all end with I love you, you're my friend, with 3 or 4 X's next to her name.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and Doris also, when I finished my CD with Vinnie Falcone, I sent her the CD, and she wrote back and she said, I'm very proud of all of your works. And that made me feel so good because I idolized Doris. I just idolized her. A marvelous, marvelous singer. And so someday, Rob, I would like to do a tribute to her in music. I'd like to talk about her, and I'd like to sing the famous songs that she loved to sing in the movies.
That sounds like a great idea, Gary.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm working on that, too, and I'm very excited about it, and I want to do it in her memory because, her son passed away in 2004, right after my mom, and I wrote Doris a letter because Doris was very, very saddened.
Oh, I guess.
And I wrote a very heroic, a very inspirational letter to her. And she sent me her photograph with the words, Gary, thank you for your beautiful, beautiful letter. They made me feel so much better.
Oh, wow.
So, when you lose someone, it's very, especially as her son, it was very difficult for her. But she was always smiling and always sweet and always very uplifting. She was never, ever down, ever. And I loved Doris Day in the movies. I just finished seeing one of her movies that I just love, and it's called My Dream Is Yours, and it was made by Warner Brothers. And if you would like to see a wonderful movie, it's just that.
I've got to take my break for the news now, Gary. Please stand by. When we get back, I'd like to talk to you about Barbra Streisand's sister and how you met her. So please stand by.
Oh, good. That's a good subject.
All right, stand by, please, Gary. Exo Nation, Gary Tannus Nassif is our guest. His website is www.garytannusnassif.com. And we'll both be back after the news. So whatever you do, we don't want you to go away. We want you to stay here and listen to the rest of this fascinating story. And we're going to talk more about the production that Gary is putting together to help the St. Jude Hospital. It's what it's all about, being part of a solution, not part of the problem. Here we go. Don't go away.
Hot town, summer in the city, back of my neck.
Guess there's no use in hanging around. Guess I'll get dressed and do the town. I'll find some crowded avenue, though it will be empty without you. Can't get used to losing you no matter what I try to do. Gonna live my whole life through loving you. Called up some girl I used to know. After I heard her say.
Welcome back, everyone. My guest is Gary Tannus Nassif, and his website is www.garytannusnassif.com. How did you meet the sister of Barbra Streisand?
I would like Rob to tell the audience first before I answer that question that the two songs that you played earlier with me singing were recorded with my Hollywood pianist conductor, and his name is Steve Haberman, and Steve is absolutely marvelous. He did my CD with me along with Vinny, and he's up in Washington State, and he's still playing piano.
Oh, fantastic!
So I wanted to make sure that he was acknowledged.
All right. So now, how did you meet Barbra Streisand's sister?
Right. Okay. Well, my conductor and pianist was the same as hers. Her name is Rosalind Kind, and she's a little younger than Barbara, and she's the half-sister, and her voice is absolutely magic. It's so beautiful, and she does a lot of concert work. But getting back to your question, she and I had the same pianist conductor, and the pianist conductor was my cousin, Norman Mamie Jr. And so Rosalind would come to clubs to hear me with him, and I would go to her concerts to hear her. And we used to like to perform at a place in Hollywood called the Rose Tattoo, and many wonderful people have sung there. One of them, but I shouldn't say his name, but many famous people went there. But I got booked there. She was booked, and we saw each other. So whenever I would go to see her performances, I don't know why, but I was always a few minutes late. And I stood at the door waiting for her first song to finish, and she saw me at the door, and she said, "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, "I'm going to stop my show to introduce my dear, dear friend, Gary Nassif, and he's standing at the door. Please give him a big round of applause." And she directed her spotlight on me, and the place was always mobbed with her fans, and her mother was always there. She was a dear, dear lady, and so Rosalind did this to me quite often, and I can't tell you how she lifted me beyond my imagination of my self-worth. She made me so valuable in front of her audience, and I said to myself, "Wow, this girl is amazing." So anyway, we followed each other, and she was married at the time, and so we never had a romance or anything, but we had a very strong friendship, a very godly friendship. And through the years, we kept in touch, and so when I knew I was going to do the St. Jude Dream concert, she was the only one I thought of being my co-star. She's beautiful. She sings like an angel, and she's as sweet as they come. And if you ever hear of Rosalind being performing close to you, ladies and gentlemen, she's so wonderful. You must go and see her.
Tell us about the concert. How long is it going to be? Where is it going to be held?
Well, I'll tell you, I can't say much about it because my executive producer prefers that I don't talk about it until she completes her reading of it. And but I can tell you this, besides Rosalind, I have chosen 5 major world singers to join me on stage at different times. And one of them, I can tell you, she's not signed yet, but I know she'll do it. I know she will. And I love her so much. And Rob, I know you know her, Miss Mitzi Gaynor.
Oh my God.
Well, Mitzi is a dream. She has always been my my dancing instructor through my own dreams, and she inspired me to dance, and I became a dancer because I couldn't talk. I was a stutterer, so I won all the hearts of a lot of the hearts of the girls in high school. They used to line up to dance with me, but I couldn't talk, but I sure could dance. And Mitzi Gaynor she was my first choice to come on my St. Jude concert.
Now, how long is the concert going to be, Gary?
Probably an hour and a half. And like Judy Garland said at Carnegie Hall, she said, I don't want to go home. And she said, I want to stay here with you because you are my music. So about an hour and a half. And the music, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you'll love the music. The music starts with vaudeville, the Great American Songbook, the songs that made the movies, made Broadway great, and Michael Feinstein. Oh, I love Michael. And Michael's another person I love. I love his music. I love what he does for American standard music. And he's very, very honorable. Very honorable. And he did something for me, just like Rosalind did, but it was in another way. And I am going to, well, I can't give it away. But he's going to be honored. And rightly so.
Tell me about your Maury Amsterdam. I understand that.
Oh, I love Maury. Maury, I didn't know him that well through his work. I knew he was a comedian, and he was fun and funny, and he was very close to Danny. And Danny had him and Betty White come over to congratulate me when the Bronze of Hope was finished, and it was first dedicated at the Century Plaza in Century City, and it was star-studded. Wink Martindale was my master of ceremonies, and I had Norman Mamie Jr. Conduct and piano, played the piano, and with his 18-piece orchestra. It was a big, big day for me. And so Maury Amsterdam came over to see the Bronze of Hope. And I said, Maury, I'm so honored that you came over, and Betty. And he said, well, you honor us by inviting us. And I said, he said, I love art, and I love this art. He said, can I come over to your studio sometime? And I said, oh my God, he wants to come over to my studio when I don't have a studio. Ladies and gentlemen, guess where I created the Bronze of Hope? I created it on my kitchen table because I didn't have a studio. I didn't really believe in myself that I was great. But I did it through the Holy Spirit. He made me great, not me. Never me.
All right, Gary.
And,
Gary, we've got to take our final break for this hour, so please stand by. Exonation. Our guest this hour is Gary Tannus Nassif. He is a singer. He's an artist, and he's an all-around great guy. His website is www.garytannusnassif.com. And Gary and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as we wrap up tonight's show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center and studios in Crystal Beach, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
Guess there's no use in hanging around. Guess I'll get dressed and do the town. I'll find some crowded avenue, though it will be empty without you.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know who
And welcome back. Gary Tannus Nassif is our guest. And first of all, Gary, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Always a great pleasure talking to you.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine, sir.
Thank you. Gary, where do you see music in the future? Like, you and I come from an era where people sang songs you could understand what they were talking about. Their songs played to your heart. Today,
That's right.
today, all the dribble drabble frequency is like scratching fingernails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
We see the same thing with the great movies that have gone by. Great actors like Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, just to name a few. How do you see the new digital age changing the music industry?
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know about two projects that I have incorporated my music and your music into. And I know you're going to be thrilled with the story because it's family entertainment. And it's clean and it's beautiful. And the music is charming. And you can understand every word, every heartbeat, every phrase. It's just going to be wonderful. And I'll tell you two of them. One is a movie of the week that I've written, and I hope I've written it for Sophia Loren because I believe in her. I've always believed in her, and the Holy Spirit helped me with that story. It is a godly story, but it incorporates my music. And also, I've incorporated Vinnie Falcone into the story, and it's going to be fabulous when it is finished. And I don't have Sophia's signed yet, but God will make it happen. And when it does happen, I want her son. Her son is Eduardo Ponti. And he is a magnificent director, movie director, and television director. And I only want him to direct his mother and me and Vinny. and it's going to be a story that people will talk about for years. So, yes, my music, Rob's music, will be incorporated. And also, my major movie is going to, I can't talk about it too much, but it's going to be a colossal work of family entertainment, which will have my music, Rob's music in it. And that's a ways off, but it's going to happen.
Gary,
We'll have.
Gary, producing movies these days are very, very expensive. How do you go about getting the financing for this project?
Well, that remains to be seen. But when people or companies or production companies with the money see what I have, read the magic that I've written for the American audience, for the family audience, they're going to want to give me whatever I need, because my work is that valuable to the American family.
I understand that, and I appreciate that, but you're kind of a newcomer when it comes to the big screen productions. Why do you? Why do you think that they would? Why would they listen to you, read your treatment, and go into full production?
Well, that will be led by the Holy Spirit, but I have some very powerful stars who want to help me. And that when many people hear that these stars, these big Hollywood people, want to be involved, they will write my ticket.
All right. Once again, not to be the naysayer or I'm not playing the devil's advocate. I'm just trying to look at it through the eyes of somebody outside the box. Some of the big names that you've mentioned are from the golden era. And do you think that the young audiences of today would actually pay to go and see some of these older celebrities that you're lining up?
But I haven't mentioned the celebrities of today, and that's what I can't speak about.
Sure.
But they are mega performers of music today.
Okay, so they're musical artists.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes. Yes.
So how is this going to play into your play, your story?
What story, Rob?
Well, the story for the script that you're preparing to go into with what is it, Sophia Loren and her son?
Yeah, but that has not been contracted or presented.
Oh, I see.
To them.
It's still in the work. It's still in the works.
It's still in everything's in development.
I see.
Yeah.
When do you think you're going to be able to propose this to the major film industry head honchos?
Within this year.
Good for you. So besides besides arranging a concert, besides the work that you're doing in film development, script development, what else are you doing? Is there anything else that you can actually fit into your day?
Oh, my days are so full of writing and rewriting and rewriting and making my projects even more pristine. That's a big thing. It's not just writing, it's the rewriting.
Yeah.
And when I create my art, I don't do it one time and say it's finished. No, I think about it. I redraw and redraw until it's just perfect and near perfect. And no, it's an ongoing process, the art of writing and the art of pictorial art.
Are you performing on stage yourself these days?
No, but I'm going to. I've been writing my projects for Hollywood for 4.5 years.
Oh my God!
And I haven't sung a note, and I need to get back. So I have my producer who's very excited about my new project, and that is an evening with Gary Nassif and his movie star friends. And I'll sing between my narratives about major stars and their giving to me and their kindness to me. And I'll sing between those narratives the old songs that you love, that I love to sing.
You know, Gary, it's always a pleasure having you on the show, and unfortunately our time is up for tonight. Let our listeners know how they can find out more about you and where they can get your CD.
Oh, thank you. You can order my book through Ex Libris or Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and it's called Stop Crying and Listen to the Music, and it's the story of my life. It's a very, very inspirational story, and we're going to make that a feature-length movie too, Rob. So I haven't started on the screenplay of it, but that's on the horizon.
All right, Gary, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Take care of yourself and keep us in the loop on what's going on, and continued success.
You're the best. You are the best. Thank you, sir.
You take care, buddy. Exonation, if you'd like to find out more about our guest this hour, Gary Tannus Nassif, visit his website, www.garytannusnassif.com. Well, that's it for tonight, Exonation. I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. To all my staff and wonderful members of the X Zone Nation, thank you guys for being there. And to my senior executive producer, my wife and best friend, Laura Rogers, I'm on my way home, hon.
Oh,
good night, everyone.
how sweet.